From the streets to the studio, from crisis to recovery, from awareness to action. Ask the Messengers. We bring you real talk about public health, addiction and recovery, and the issues that matter most in our communities. The message is hope. The message is change. Ask the Messengers begins now. Welcome to this week's episode of Ask the Messengers. I am your host, Tina Nelson. Alcohol free.
My clean date is July 9th, 2003, and my drug of choice was cocaine, liquor, and pills, and weed.
How you doing? My name is Clarence B. A crack user for 30, 40 some odd years. Sold drugs, used drugs, sold drugs. I've been clean now this time. After having some substantial clean time over those years, now I'm coming up on like 60 days.
How I got started was my mother used to give me alcohol to put me to sleep. And, she repeatedly did that. And then I started out taking her cigarettes and, then I started looking for alcohol bottles to feel that need that I had felt when she gave me alcohol. And then it went from there to hanging with friends and family that drink and smoke. And then the progression of the disease it progressed more and more and more. And I ended up in Lansing, Michigan, and I had met these group of people. I didn't get forced into active addiction. I wanted to fit in, and they was doing cocaine. And at this point in time, I didn't know nothing about cocaine. And I was curious, and I seen them passing around this plate, and I said, I was curious what it was. And I tried it. And that was the beginning of the downfall for me. When I tried it, it was fun in the beginning.
I'm not gonna say I don't know what to do or didn't know what to do, but I just had some bad decision making going on over the last year or so. Now I came back around full circle. Went to treatment, got out of treatment, and ironically it was the first treatment center I went to, and as I told the people, my brother and sister there in treatment, that this was gonna be my last.
And then I kept using, and somewhere along the line, I went from the guy with all the money and all the cars and clothes to selling my things. And then I ended up in a dope house that wasn't even locked, and I couldn't even leave. The door was wide open, but somehow I was just stuck to that dope house. And I ended up going downhill, and I found myself in a dark space in my life. I ended up seeing things, and I couldn't wake up in the morning without getting a drink. I was at the liquor store before it even opened, and I found myself stealing from my girl, stealing from people that was around me. Everybody around me was a victim at this point, because the progression of disease had taken hold to me to a point where I crossed over from social user to everyday abuser. I abused drugs. And in the process of me abusing drugs, I didn't know, it wasn't apparent to me where I was going, where I ended up at. And like I said, I was stealing from people, and I was stealing from myself, and I didn't even know that I was stealing from myself.
Ask the Messengers, real people sharing real stories. Recovery is possible.
So since I've been out, I've been doing a lot of service work. I work at the treatment center as a trainee. I have some experience as being a recovery coach and interning at different facilities, a couple different facilities before I self-destructed. But that's, like they said, that's all in the past. And now that I'm back on track, I want to try to help people with my story.
I ended up in a treatment center. I wanted to get clean, and this is how I got clean. I went to go buy some drugs, and the person that sold the drugs wouldn't sell me no drugs. That's how you know you messed up, when the person that sells drugs tell you need help. And I found myself at a treatment center at Sobriety House. Thank God for Sobriety House. I want to give a shout out to Sobriety House because they helped save my life. I found myself walking on a cane to the treatment center. And when I got to the treatment center, it was full to capacity, and I was finna leave. And the brother made sure I got a spot in the treatment center. This is nothing but God. This is nothing I did, And in that treatment center, I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't listening, and somehow I had got a hold to this blue book, and I started reading it, and something happened to where I started listening up, and I started paying attention, and I started reading more and reading more. And I spent like 5 months in a treatment center. Then when I got out the treatment center, they told me to make a meeting. And I made my first meeting in this wonderful program that helped save my life. This program is so wonderful. It takes the dead, mentally, physically, and spiritually dead, and raise you back up and show you a new way to live, give you a new way of life. And I started following the directions of these people. God sent me to these people that could help me, because I remember in the treatment center when I was walking around crying tears. These was not tears of joy, these was tears of help. And every time a tear dropped, a message went up to God to help me. I needed help. I just didn't want to use no more drugs. I didn't want to live that way no more, because it was nothing good coming out of it. I was on my way to death. So God seemed fit to pull me up out the mud and place me in a community of people, a village of people that can help me. These people, when I got to the meeting, I heard people saying they got 30 years clean and this and that. I was like, they ain't no way they not using drugs. Everybody uses drugs. That's so I thought in my mind. But they told me to keep coming back. And in the beginning, it was hard because I wanted to use so bad, because that's all I knew was to use. But I fought against it, and I kept coming, and before I know it, I was in school. Now I'm in school with a 3.7 grade point average, doing well, thriving in school. I went from a beat down car, and I got a brand new car, and I started getting clothes, and and all that stuff. But that's the material part. But more importantly, I found myself. I regained my respect. I regained my spiritual well-being, because this is a spiritual matter we dealing with. This is spiritual in nature. Drugs tear your spirit down. It makes you want to isolate. It makes you get self-centered. It takes you to the animal level. It takes you to a point of life to where nothing and nobody matters, not even yourself.
I'm enjoying life. I'm learning to love myself. I'm learning more about forgiving myself for some things that I put my wife through. God rest her soul. She passed Christmas Day. and through cancer. But one thing about her, she always had my back, and she always encouraged me. Regardless how mad she got, how frustrated, how disappointed, how many tears she cried, she always had my back. And even in our last, say 3-4 months, we were still in the process of saving money, staying clean, doing things to help people. She was a beacon of light for me, and I can say again, definitely my backbone. And I know I'll never find nobody like her in my life, but I knew she would want me to carry on within myself. And that's all she ever wanted, regardless of what we went through, the good times, bad times. She always wanted me to be the best Clarence I could be, not only for her, but for myself.
If you have a recovery story of your own and would like to share it right here on our show, record the video and send it to us. Our email information is right there on the screen, askthemessengers@gmail.com. Ask the Messengers, real people sharing real stories. Recovery is possible.
I started really going out and stuff when I was around.
Real people sharing real stories. Recovery is possible.
Well, to someone who's still using, I would say then maybe because you're doing something wrong.
Why do people drink? Is it stress? Peer pressure? Curiosity? Social norm? Environment? An act of rebellion? Or just for fun? Did you know that 52% of adults 18 and over have a drinking problem? And that 38 million Americans binge drink, and that 4 out of 5 college students drink every day.
I was born and raised in Detroit, been lived here all my life, and I went to a Catholic elementary school and a public high school. My dad was actually a World War II vet, and he was pretty strict and pretty scary, and he was had post-traumatic stress and was a big alcoholic. He celebrated, he mourned, everything was alcohol. I actually was affected very strong, in the past by drugs. I grew up in the 70s. I was a teenager in the 70s, and I did probably every drug there is. Everybody that I hung around with was doing drugs.
Real people sharing real stories. Recovery is possible.
I actually did drugs until I was about 20 years old, and then switched to alcohol. We used to do barbiturates, which is very close to the same kind of effect as alcohol. It's like a downer, make you pass out. Downers was my drug of choice, considering all the drugs. I didn't really like cocaine because it made me too up, and I'm already kind of hyper. I just wanted to be relaxed, passed out, basically, forget about it. I hit my bottom quite a few times, probably. The last time I hit my bottom, I was in trouble with driving, with the law. I didn't have my driver's license, and I was still getting drunk. I woke up one morning after not remembering what happened the night before, and I looked in the mirror and I couldn't even recognize myself. My face was all beat up. I don't know what happened. All swelled up, and this is when I said to myself, I am not gonna die like this. I am not gonna meet my maker in a blackout.
Alcohol makes me very sexual, and I talked to this guy, and I ended up talking to him that night, and he asked, can he come over and get me? And I said, no, but you could come over, because I had kids too at the time. And he came over, and he said, well, let's go to the store and get some coolers. He said, I seen that you like coolers. And I said, okay, because I just wanted to drink, wanted to kill all the feelings that I had going on inside of me. And he passed the store, and I said, well, the store's right there. He said, I know. But we pulled up at this house, and he said, okay, well, I'm gonna run in. My mom need me, yada, yada, yada. She's in a wheelchair. I didn't even know this guy. And so he said, come on in for a minute. And I stepped in, and when we went in, I was expecting to be in a living room or something, but when we went in, we were like instantly in a bedroom. It was like through a back door. And I instantly had a gun up to my head. And he told me, he said, today is your day, you're gonna die. He commenced to rape me. All I can see is, if you had not wanted to drink and altered your judgment, you wouldn't even be in this.
One of the most prevalent disorders in our society today is substance abuse. And a lot of people really don't understand how the disease of addiction works. I know that a lot of families are discombobulated and messed up, especially by older people that just feel like it's just simply a matter of just quitting. It causes an individual to turn into somebody that they entirely was not raised to be. A lot of people, when they have a problem with drugs or alcohol, especially alcohol, which a lot of people feel like in this society is not a problem because it's legal. And now we have marijuana that has now become legal. So a lot of people are saying that marijuana doesn't cause a problem. But the biggest drug problem in the United States or in the world is caused by alcoholism. Alcoholism has destroyed more individuals and families than all of the substances, cocaine, heroin, marijuana, all of those substances that are problems together. So alcohol is something that people, even though it's socially acceptable, should really be looked at the impact that it has on the individual and the impact thus it has on the individual's family.
My name is Rich. I'm from Chicago. My drug of choice was heroin, alcohol, marijuana, crack, but heroin was first and foremost. When I first picked up a drug, I was about 10. And that was alcohol, 13 with marijuana. And then after high school, I got into cocaine and heroin. So my mom gave me sips of her beer growing up, and a lot of funerals. Alcohol was everywhere. I go to meetings. I have a regular meeting, my home group, that I make every week without fail, that I do service at. I'm a co-chair right now. I've had other roles in it. A year ago, I went to a funeral for a great aunt of mine, and an aunt of mine told me in private that she is in a 12-step program. So every day I send her a daily meditation, which keeps me involved in sharing and in connection with other recovering addicts.
Ask the Messengers, real people sharing real stories. Recovery is possible.
And to the young man or young lady that's watching this that may be thinking about picking up for the first time, give them a hope shot.
Think twice. I did it because of the guys I was hanging out with, to stay up with the group. And those choices led me to go to prison twice. I ruined countless jobs. It's not worth it. It's too much of a price to pay.
So you say you went to prison twice. Were those drug-related crimes?
Yes.
And how did you survive that?
I've been lucky. I've been a lot luckier than a lot of people I know, by the grace of God. Overdoses, jail, prison, and I still got everything I came into this world with.
If you have a recovery story of your own and would like to share it right here on our show, record the video and send it to us. Our email information is right there on the screen, askthemessengers@gmail.com.
Would you like to help us save lives? You can do so by partnering with us here at Ask the Messengers by making a donation of any amount. The people in your communities need your support. Help us extend our reach and impact more lives. Supporting our organization is as easy as a click of a button. Just visit our site shown on the screen from your phone or computer where you will see a yellow donation button. Ask the Messengers is waiting on your partnership, and your community is waiting on you.
If you prefer mailing your donations, send your check or money order payable to Ask the Messengers TV show and send it to 18400 Schaefer Highway, Detroit, Michigan 48235. Well, that concludes this week's episode of Ask the Messengers, and we're asking you to take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you to our guests today, and we hope the information shared will be of some help to you, your family, and your community. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, stay strong, stay kind, and keep standing for what's right. See you next time, right here on Ask the Messengers.